Well, today is super exciting because if you saw our last week's video, then you would have seen us finishing off the drywall, meeting the team that we have here, finishing that off. And in that process, they very generously offered to create a work of art in our bathroom. And they are now in the process of transforming a boring old wall of drywall into a solid piece of marble. This is not something that I realized was even possible until they showed me their Instagram account and showed me all of their sculptures and work of art in the process of using essentially Venetian plaster and hand painting the wall to make it look indistinguishable from a solid piece of polished marble. And I stepped away for a second. They've already started painting here. Absolutely kicking myself that I missed the hand painting of the rust colors. They're gonna bring in some gray as well, blend it all together. This is just the start. I really need to set up a time-lapse camera just to make sure I don't miss a single moment. They were just telling me they're processing throughout the entire process here. There's gonna be about 5, 6, 7 layers of different colors and paint, and they'll bring back white over top of the rust and then add in a little bit of gray and then bring back more of that rust and more white and slowly blend everything together. So I haven't missed much. They told me they didn't even call me because this is the boring part of the process, but to me it's all fascinating. I don't want to miss anything about it. So I'm gonna stop working elsewhere and just kind of focus on making sure I don't miss anything, because this is such an art to me, and every little stroke of the brush I want to be here and make sure that I witness and see how it's all done. So throughout this process they've been showing me pictures of their past work, videos of their past work, and I guess for you guys watching, if you haven't seen that much of it, then you might look at this and wonder, hey, why did they just smear a bunch of orange paint under your wall? Like, what is this gonna be? Well, you're just gonna have to wait and see the process, because I know from what I've seen of seeing their work what this is gonna end up being, and it's gonna be stunning. You'll just have to wait and see.
Marrone, abbiamo un po' di giallo. Abbiamo un po' grosso, dopo fine, adesso perché serve uno grosso.
Okay. Just like any other painting, they're layering in different colors. So right now he's adding a little bit darker veins of brown to mix with the rust, and then later on he'll go over everything with a white to layer that deeper into the layers of the marble, if you will. And up here he goes right now. Anytime I witness art in process, I always think, oh, I want to try that, and in reality, if I did, it would be an absolute disaster. But nevertheless, I still want to try. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying the process of seeing this art piece come to life as much as I am witnessing it in real life here. It's a little bit difficult for me to capture. I'm just not used to this process. I'm used to getting in and getting my hands dirty, so I feel a little bit fish out of water here. But just to be able to sit back and watch the artist's work is fantastic. And obviously it's very early in the stage, and he's kind of sponging it in the background. He's talking about layering and all of the colors, and the amount of layering, it's going to be like 10, 20 different layers of colors as this all blends together. So to see it all shape up is going to be very, very fascinating. So Venetian plaster is starting to become a little bit trendy, especially in Western markets. I see it all over Instagram and Facebook, but this is true Venetian plaster. There is a very big difference. This is not one of those kits that you go and buy at a big box store and that the fake Venetian plaster. No, this is a true artist painting this on by hand, which to mimic the natural grain and the natural veins of a stone, a slab like marble, is a very challenging, impressive thing that he's pulling off here. Obviously we're less than half of the way through, but this, to be able to witness true Venetian plaster, is a treat. So now he's using pure white from the bucket to kind of clean up these lines, make sure all of the color stays within the vein as it's meant to. Then you can start to see the blending of white over top of everything just to layer these colors deeper into the marble effect to make sure it's not so in your face, to lighten everything up and to make it a little bit more subtle in this wall. The product that they're using actually has a lot of anti-mold properties to it, so it's perfect for working in a bathroom. And then as a precaution, once everything is blended and the final product is finished, they'll go back over top of everything with a wax coating to make sure that it's somewhat waterproof. In fact, you could have water dripping down it. It won't affect the look. Nothing will smear, and you definitely won't have any possibility of mold in the future. Specifically with mold, this product, this technique was developed in Venice. That's why it's obviously called Venetian plaster. And being Venice, they obviously have a lot of problems with humidity and rising damp and mold. It's actually where a lot of the research on rising damp has been developed throughout the last, 1,000 years of Venetian history or whatever. This technique originated from then. He was telling me the reason why, and I didn't fully understand, but it was to do with how mold resistant this type of plaster actually is. If I understand correctly, it's a blend of lime and also marble, actual real marble dust that's been ground up, and a few other properties that I didn't really understand. But regardless of how it's made, it's meant to withstand humidity from a bathroom. So now that the majority of the colors have been set into place, they're going back over everything, blending in the white, lightening things up. But apparently because of this product having a heavy base in lime, which takes a very long time to dry, the true colors won't actually come out for another probably 7 days. All of the whites will get a lot clearer, a lot brighter, a lot more consistent. And as far as the colors, I'm not exactly sure how they'll settle in, but well, we should have a pretty clear idea of what it's going to look like by the end of today or tomorrow morning when it's finished. The actual colors will take a little bit of time to properly set in.
With taking on such a stressful project like renovating a house like this, it is very important for us to maintain really healthy relationships as a family, especially between me and Bradey. It's so easy for the busyness of life to get in the way of our relationships, but today's video sponsor, Paired, can help with that. Paired is a relationship care app that is designed to prompt meaningful conversation between couples to help improve their relationship. It offers daily conversation starters and expert-backed advice to help strengthen communication and deepen emotional connection, making the journey of staying in love more enjoyable and meaningful. The app is very easy to use and prompts some really unique conversations that we would have never had before. I also like that you can't read your partner's response until you've made a response of your own. I think it helps keep things a lot more authentic. There are endless topics to choose from, like communication, finances, work life, and everything is guided from relationship experts.
As a guy, it's extremely helpful to have guided questions to follow because, of course, all guys want to improve their relationship, but that work doesn't come as naturally, at least for me, so having guided questions to follow is very helpful. Questions like, what's one of the qualities you think Heather appreciates and loves about you? Or what's something that gets Heather excited that makes you smile? These kind of questions spark good conversation.
It's all grounded in research, providing expert-backed advice in a fun and engaging way. Unlike other apps that are focused on dating or conflict resolution, Paired is focused on nurturing and deepening existing relationships. Paired offers daily questions, quizzes, conversation starters, and tips that help encourage couples to explore their relationship in new ways. By engaging with the app regularly, couples can build healthier communication habits, leading to a stronger and more connected relationship. If you and your partner would like to try out the Paired app for yourselves, you can scan this QR code now or check out the link in our description below. You can try out a 7-day free trial and get 25% off Paired Premium. Thanks so much to the Paired app for sponsoring today's video.
You like it?
Yes!
Puoi toccare, vieni, dillo di può toccare.
Go touch it, go touch it, feel it.
Touch it? Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Isn't that weird?
That's crazy!
Like,
oh,
it
it's
feels
beautiful.
literally like marble.
It does feel like marble.
And he's just getting started putting the polish on. It's like a wax polish.
Okay.
So it's as waterproof as the shower.
Oh, cool.
Cambiamo, non va bene? Mettiamo pistrelle?
Do you want to change it out over time?
That's amazing.
So the whole wall, even though it's drywall, because of the wax finish and the product, is just as waterproof as tile.
That's awesome.
Non-wax.
It's not wax.
Yeah, this wall's only about halfway finished. He's just showing the difference with the water.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Quando fai la doccia, al bagno non si sporca. Non assorbe acqua.
It won't absorb any of the water, the humidity.
That's amazing. Grazie.
Va bene?
Sì.
Spasiba.
Yes.
Не за что. Скажи мне так, что будет светлее, намного светлее будет. Сейчас она мокрая и темная чуть-чуть. А когда высохнет...
Now she has black, but once
Yeah.
she has seven days.
Я понимаю по-русски.
Светлее будет, пьяный, больше белого будет.
Okay.
Потому что сейчас мокрая и выступает это. Но когда высохнет, будет чуть-чуть больше белого.
Okay, so everything will brighten and whiten. Right now it's still a little bit wet, even though it's perfectly dry to the touch. Because it's lime, it'll take about 7 days to cure. And especially, let me come around here so the camera can see as I talk. Especially all of the whites will become so much brighter, and because they've skin coated all across all of the colors will fade and become brighter as a result of that. But it'll take a solid 7 days for that to cure. As a result, you kind of have to make all of the colors bolder than what you want, because as that hardens and cures, it lightens over everything.
Вот твой канал, это отдельная стенка. Если кто-то хочет сделать, трудно повторить.
See.
È difficile avere uguale.
Yeah, what you didn't notice is he started speaking Italian, switched to Russian, then switched back to Italian.
It all sounds German to me, you know, I have no idea.
That's a lot different.
Yeah, it's lightened up quite a bit. It looks good.
That's
Love
cool.
It looks really good.
That's really cool.
It's very cool.
It's so much different.
They told us that it was going to change quite a lot and lighten up, and but it was kind of hard to picture, you know.
And they said 7 days. It's only been 1 day, or I guess less than 24 hours.
Yeah, it was just yesterday they were here working. So I think it's awesome. I'm excited about it. It's funny because we did not plan to do this. It was just kind of like a surprise. We didn't know that they even had this talent, and so it was a very quick decision, and then we're like, oh, are we going to like it? Are we not going to like it? And I love it. I think it's going to be really cool. Once we get the vanity and the mirror in here and get everything else kind of cleaned up and bring in some other decor items, plants and stuff, I'm so excited. I was honestly nervous about it because I've never really seen anything like this, you know, in a bathroom or anywhere in real life. But I like it. I think it's really cool.
I also was just a little bit nervous, not that much because I had seen all of their work that they had shown me pictures and videos of, but I couldn't quite picture like how the white was going to blend over top of the other rusty colors and how it's going to settle in. And I guess we will still have to wait nearly another week to see the full finished results. So obviously that won't be included in this week's video, but I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much to our team that helped us out with this. This was a gift that we didn't commission this from them. They just wanted to offer this as a gift to our home, and I'm at a loss for words. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, as a thank you to them, I will put their contact information in the video description. So if you are looking for sculptures or this type of work, definitely reach out to them. Well, good morning to what is a fairly miserable, dreary spring morning. We're getting in all of that rain, but that's fine because we are stuck inside finishing up this drywall. The drywall itself is completely finished. It's drying very, very slowly, but we can't even paint yet until we finish up some of these transitions. The transitions from drywall to stone is what we need to clean up, as there's naturally a bunch of splatter points along that stone, and you want to get them cleaned up and have a nice crisp line. Don't get me wrong, that's not a mistake on their part at all. It's just a natural part of trying to blend a smooth drywall wall into a rough stone wall. Naturally, you're gonna splatter that wall. It does take a little bit of elbow grease to get off. But we now have one room completely ready to paint. I promised the kids that we would finish their bedroom first. All we need to do now is go around, caulk the edges, and then we are fully ready to paint. Very pleased with how these lines cleaned up. I know it's difficult to see on camera right now, but it's a far cry from where it was before. And then if you look closely, all we need to do is kind of feather in this line, maybe with a little bit of caulk, but mostly just paint to help clean up that transition. I've also gone and sanded all of the edges where the drywall meets the ceiling, as well as cleaned up all around the beams. Naturally, these beams got a little bit of drywall mud on them, but the plan is to clean out all of the cracks around the beam and then to fill them in with caulk. Basically throughout the entire house, wherever drywall touches another hard surface or another movable surface such as the ceiling, you need to caulk all of those lines anywhere where it touches stone, because as the house shifts and moves, that drywall seam will always crack quite quickly within a matter of a week or two. So that caulk line will help allow it to flex and cover up that crack.
So in the downstairs here, we have a lot of cleanup to do on the beams because of the mess that was kind of made when they were doing the concrete rendering. So today I'm going to be attempting to clean off these beams so they look as good as new or as good as after Bradey distressed them. And yeah, I'm gonna get to it.
probably should have put this part in the video.
Why?
It's not as cool. It's not very manly. You need to start a fire properly. I'd say that is the proper way to start a fire. Definitely a tedious process, but it has to be done. Any small speck of white on the stone just really draws your attention to it. You want a nice, clean, crisp line of that white going down, and what I'm finding to be best is to scrape it off first with a spatula, then scrape off the large chunks with a screwdriver, then ultimately use the spatula as a guide to protect the wall, and then go through with a wire brush and really get that in there. And then I'll come back and I'll sand the drywall one more time just in case I touch it at all with the wire brush, get it nice and smooth. And then I'll scrub these stones to get every last ounce of white off. And then finally, we'll caulk the transition and then just paint essentially. And that paint line will be the final point of transition from white to stone. All of this wood has been through a lot, going back all the way to power washing the house, getting splattered and everything, and then all of the pointing and the mortar being splashed around, but they're cleaning up quite nicely.
It's really exciting for me because this and the fireplace are the two things that really sold the house for me, is like these details. And they've been kind of buried in the dirt and just they don't look as good as they did when we first bought the house. And so to be able to kind of clean them up and see what they're going to be like.
And Silvio made those stairs.
Silvio did do these. He did a great job.
As far as I know. I don't know if he refinished them or if he did all of them. I'll have to ask him.
It's beautiful. Looking good.
This room and all rooms are fully ready for paint.
Yay!
So we are fully ready for paint other than caulking, which I guess I could do caulking today, but it's getting late in the day, I'm getting tired. But I just don't feel comfortable painting yet. I had hoped to paint tomorrow morning, but everything's drying very, very slowly. As you look around, you can see the difference between the gray splotches in the wall and the closer to white splotches in the wall. And they really all should be a solid white before we move on to painting. And especially under all of the windows here, because this is not a piece of drywall here, it's actually insulation. There's nothing that's sucking out the moisture from the mud. That's also just a result of it's very humid out, lots of rain going on, and honestly, I think it's going to take another solid 2 or 3 days to properly dry before we can paint. But that's going to be in our next video.
So even though this week we've done a lot of kind of the little finishing touches, detail kind of things that...
Nitpicky, boring things.
Yeah, it's not really finishing touches, but just little things that need to happen but don't necessarily feel like you're being super productive. It has been a very productive week.
I like the big stuff, like breaking stones and like mixing concrete.
I like this stuff a little bit more because I actually can help with it. I'm good at scrubbing things and cleaning things and doing that, so it's fun for me. But we are coming closer to being able to live in this house, and it's getting so exciting. Next up, we're going to be painting. I cannot wait. This is where I've been waiting. I've been waiting to get my hands on some paint here.
Well, thank you so much for spending part of your day with us. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next week.
Thank you so much to the Paired app for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget to check out the link in the description below. We'll see you next week.